Welcome to this episode where I'm going to talk about how to be your most relaxed, magnetic, easy self in front of the camera or public speaking, and in a way that doesn't involve 10,000 hours of over preparation and a whole lot of overthinking. Now I'm going to backpedal for a moment and say, my last video I spoke about getting some feedback, which was a prompt from some mentors and people that I really trust, that I could be more real and authentic. And that was a beautiful inquiry and led me into a big deep dive that I've been on for the last few weeks or months or so, playing with what does it mean to be authentic. Right now I'm staring at a camera, right? And I've got lights up there and I'm talking to nobody and I'm sitting in a chair in my studio, and it's like, now be real, be your best self, be authentic. And it's almighty strange to try and be authentic while talking to a camera. It's completely different to talking to other human beings in real life. The first thing I want to say about this is that if you're going to do public speaking and speak in groups, especially speak to a camera, expect there to be some level of weirdness to it. You know, our nervous systems do kind of hype up. They can go into a lot of fear, and I'll speak a bit more about that later. But the first thing I want to say is, if you're going to do this thing, prepare to feel weird, prepare to play with it, prepare to be deeply imperfect. And if we can, we should all just try and enjoy the journey. Like, I'm definitely, the more I do this, the less seriously I take it. Like, I am sitting in this seat and I love sharing this work. I'm deadly serious about the work that I do with voices and communication coaching and helping people to feel comfortable speaking and sharing themselves with the world. But this malarkey of sitting with a camera in front of me, it's there to have fun with, it's there to explore, but it's definitely not a place that I intend to over-scrutinize myself and definitely not criticize myself. And that's an invitation that I want to share with you. Okay, so let's go into some pointers here around how to drop into more safety, comfort, and ease with the camera on or standing up in front of people. The first place I want to start is to stop putting ourselves under so much pressure. When I'm working with individuals and groups in this particular subject matter of them learning to be confident, in general, everyone, and I include myself in this, puts ourselves under so much pressure to be good, to be confident, to be authentic, to be funny, to be fluent. It's just not easy. And if we just start backing ourselves and saying how I'm doing right now is enough, then it gets a lot easier. But most people I work with have got I don't do it well enough, and I resent the way I show up, and I'm angry with myself. In fact, we judge ourselves and punish ourselves for how we show up on video. This is an invitation to you, but also to me, to just drop our expectations. It's like lower our expectations, lower our standards voluntarily. Like here I am. I'm taking my time out to talk to the internet. Why am I going to punish myself about how I show up here? And so this is an invitation for us to slow down, drop into our bodies, and care less, and support ourselves as we do it. And I think that this dropping of the standards is exceptionally important. We have a tendency to take ourselves way too seriously and to care too much about what others think. And so this invitation for you and for me is to care less and to try and experiment. And so I feel really easy as I do this. I feel pretty easy as I remind myself of this and practice this thing of just like, sue me, I turned the camera on, I'm willing to experiment with life, and I'm not so scared of what they think. This brings me to point number 2. No one has a scarier opinion about us than ourselves. We tend to project out that other people are going to say that we're crap at this, or that we should do it like this, and we imagine people judging us. But no one is more cruel than ourselves. We should really be terrified of ourselves and the inner critic that we have inside, because that's what's genuinely scary. But the fun thing about that is then we can work on it, and it's an inside job. This thing of judging ourselves, it's an inside job. If we can help soothe the inner critic and make the inner critic feel safe to be imperfect, to just be a sloppy, beautiful, emerging human being, then the whole thing does become much more fun. But it does involve working with our inner critic. And so that's part of the evolution that I'm doing too, is just learning to show up and completely accept myself as I am in this moment. Like, world, Jeremy, actually, because, he's the scary one inside, this is as good as I've got right now. I actually can't do anything more entertaining or better. I could put a clown suit on, or I could drop into my body and just be my most namaste, grounded, authentic self, maybe. But here I am. This is how I'm showing up right now, and it's got to be enough. It's all I've got. That's the edge that I'm playing with, this is what I've got. And so let me know what you think of that. Please drop something into the comments if this lands with you, and whether you'd be willing to just show up as you are, including with stuttering or freezing and blushing or whatever happens to you, to accept ourselves as we are. I'm going to take that one step further, and this is especially for the freezers and people who feel deeply self-judging when they see themselves on camera or hear the sounds of their voice. That is, of course, conditioning, and it can be very, very intense for people. And I know what it's like too, seeing myself on camera and judging myself and it just never being enough. It's a hugely important pattern to work with. So let's just say we're talking about a camera, on camera, or speaking in front of people. Freeze. Let's just say this is the pattern where you have the freeze and it's a freeze. We usually overlay that with this shouldn't be happening. I shouldn't be freezing. And that it shouldn't be happening is part of what keeps this in place. It is happening. So when I'm working with groups or my one-on-one students, we work on go into the freeze, feel what it's like, see if we can stop rejecting it in the moment. And the moment someone has permission to freeze in real time, instead of going, no, I'm so mortified this is happening, instead we're going like, freeze. What's the worst that can happen? They go slightly into the freeze, and then when they're not rejecting it, it just starts to unwind. People just need to have the opportunity to go into that freeze safely, see that it's not so bad, choose to stop judging it, and then it can begin to release. The next thing I'm going to say is it keeps coming back to grounding and centering ourselves and becoming more present. You'll see as I talk about this subject matter, I'll slow down. I'll become more focused, more centered, more present, a little bit more here, able to take a deep breath like this. What I did right there was just take a breath and count to 4. It's one of the most magical things we can do when speaking with others or speaking in a group. Try it. Take the space. Count to 4. So grounding ourselves all the time while presenting our work or prior to presenting, grounding, centering, and working with our nervous systems. We want to move out of that freeze or out of that anxiety or out of that, in my case, like I'm performing or the camera's on and just kind of an excited tension into a relaxed presence. I'm just here. So as you can see, just moving into that embodiment also modulates it and slows it down. The last category that I want to talk about is leaning into our authority. And this is the area I think that was shared with me, and the prompt that was shared with me by mentors and friends, is I could lean into my authority more. What do I mean by that? I'll try and demonstrate. The work that I do is supporting people to undo freezing and anxiety and any form of public speaking and group speaking or being visible conditioning. And I am one of the best at this in the world. Honestly, I stumbled into this as a trauma facilitator and a singer and a coach. I fell into a body of work which I call my Radiant Voices process, and I have learned to very effectively support people to unfreeze their voices and learn to feel safe to fully express in the world. I think I'm one of the best at it in the world. I don't know anybody who teaches the methods that I teach. And it's not that I'm proud of it. Well, I like it and I'm super happy to be doing this. But really the point for me is that I don't often slow down and actually just express it really, really, really clearly. This is what I do. This is what I care about. And this is an area that I have authority in. This is what I do day in, day out. I see people learn to stop blushing in the matter of 2 or 3 sessions, reduce anxiety by maybe 50% presenting to groups within weeks or months. So what I wanted to show you was me slowing down and expressing my authority. This is still a work in progress for me. I really want to learn how to express very clearly in a way that can land what I'm good at and what I love doing. Let me know how that landed for you and whether you could feel me speaking about my authority or whether you think I still need to do some work on that. And one last thing in this, I think part of it is also learning to let out our weird, instead of being our kind of perfect self, to let our unique, lovely, quirky self out and to be seen in the world. I'm still totally working on this. I am probably much weirder and funnier than I show up here right now. And I'm still just learning to let that out in front of y'all. So being quirky, being playful, and taking ourselves less seriously, that is an edge for me. It's an area of play, but I'm enjoying myself just as I am. Like, this is enough. It's good enough for me. So that's it for today. These are some tips and stuff that I'm mulling on about how to show up on camera or public speaking in a way that feels easy, light, powerful, authoritative, authentic. In other words, how to be our most magnetic self while speaking and sharing ourselves with the world. How to be visible and have fun and for it to feel kind of effortless while doing it. If you'd like to, please like and subscribe this video. It helps me with the algorithm, as you probably know. And I'll see you soon.